my grandma really wants to take a picture with you. So, so Gabe was like, oh yeah, no problem. Like, just like, it's somebody's grandma. You're not going to say no, right?
Yeah.
And so he went and took a picture. He's just standing next to her, where she takes his arm and wraps it around him. Like he had it like up high or something.
Yeah.
And then she dropped it to like her hip. And
Oh,
wait,
Gabe. She trying to slide on my dog.
And if you ain't fucking with this podcast, then you're just a bitch ass trick.
But if you listening, AJ gonna talk about his China trip. So if you want to skip ahead just a little bit, if you don't care about China, I mean it's a good story, so definitely listen. But if not, skip to 120. Welcome back to another episode of Save It for the Pod, episode number 135.
Yes, sir.
Feeling this bitch.
You're
AJ back from
China.
Yes, sir.
What were you gonna say, Zach?
No, I pointed at Phil so he could say it. Yeah.
China.
But yeah, we back 2 weeks in a row. I think for 2024 this is the first
Bike to bike weeks.
2 episodes in a row we've had it.
Talk about consistency.
Yeah, we can't apologize enough, but y'all just bear with us. The loyal ones, we appreciate y'all. And even if you're not loyal, if you're listening for the first or the last time, we appreciate y'all. But AJ, you just had a huge trip. Tell the people about it.
All right, so like on Tuesday, night I flew out, but I woke up on Tuesday, right? Finished packing. You know, everything.
Yes,
everything
I
I
need
did.
every single detail.
Every detail. So I woke up and I was like, oh wait, I'm going to China today. I finished packing because naturally, you know. And then got to the airport. Gabe got to my house, and then we went to the airport together. And then got on a flight. First flight, 14 hours.
First of 2?
Yeah, first of 2.
Okay.
First of 2. It was like, yeah, we only had a pit stop in Qatar. We took Qatar Airways. It might be my new favorite airline. It was pretty lit.
How was the plane?
The plane,
Spacious?
it was decent. It definitely was more space than most of, like, I guess the domestic flights, which would make sense. And the chairs lean back further too.
Okay.
The food was also pretty decent. The restrooms were pretty good too.
What'd they feed you?
I remember the curry chicken. We had curry chicken once, and I was like, it's actually kind of decent. And then there was, I don't remember. There was like a spinach tortellini thing. I didn't eat on the flight home, but I'll explain that later. And yeah, and then so that was 14 hours. It flew by. You can get Wi-Fi that basically gives you everything. Like you couldn't really stream off of it and stuff, but they had like a ton of movies for entertainment and stuff. Like
TVs in the back of the headrest?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they give you headphones and stuff, pillow, blanket, everything. Oh yeah, Qatar, they gave you like a sleeping mask too, so you could just like put it over your eyes. It blacks out everything. Waitresses were nice, or not waitresses, but they ended up being like, "Jeez, bro." The flight attendants.
This nigga said, "Fuck that, boss."
Yeah. The flight attendants, yes. I ended up calling them waitresses because they were like, how nice they were, and it was like servers at a nice restaurant. You know?
Yeah.
What else? So there's a couple times where I didn't want to eat, and they were like flabbergasted. They're like, "What?" I was like, "No, I don't want to. Are you sure? Can I just give you some?" It was like if they brought like one less like meal bag, they were gonna get fired or something. That's what I felt like. I was like, "Yeah, I don't want it.
Yeah,
I'm fine." Yeah. So first flight was lit. We get to Qatar Airways, or not Airways. We get to Qatar, Doha, Qatar. It's Hamad International, but it's in Doha. Like Qatar's a pretty small country too. But yeah, we didn't get to really explore or roam around because both of our layovers were there. The first one was only 4 hours. And you need to be if you're leaving, you need to have at least 6 hours. They just won't let you out.
Yeah.
And the second time we got there late, like 8:50 or something, and everything was gonna be closed by the time we got out. So we ended up just staying in. But the airport's really nice actually. It looks like a nice mall, like like it'd be like Aventura Mall or something, or
Yeah.
maybe even nicer. Oh wait, I have like a list. I was just going off memory, but yeah. So airport was cool. We were there for 4 hours, like I said. Ended up getting on the next flight. It felt super quick too, or like the time waiting to the next flight. But we flew on a Chinese airline. It's called Xiamen Airways.
Okay.
It was decent. It was okay. But like literally everything is in Chinese. Every announcement, everything is. The flight attendants know like a decent amount enough of English to speak.
Okay.
And everyone knows English everywhere for the most part.
Yeah.
Even if it's only a little bit. So that wasn't a huge issue. And also we had like translate apps and stuff. But like in the airport, everyone you need to talk to, like everyone spoke English. Even if they were foreign, they spoke to the people there in English.
And like, I mean, not to sound messed up or anything, but like their English was good enough to where you could understand.
Yeah, well, they could understand, and then I could
Okay.
I guess for the flight attendants, they just really needed to understand me. Like if I wanted only a certain thing, I think I only wanted the fruit on one of the times, and that was like the hardest thing for them. And they're like, "Oh, just the fruit, okay," and they just gave me the fruit. But it took them like a second. They had moved on to the next seat and didn't give me anything. I was like, it's fine. I honestly can't tell you anything, so it's on me. I could have used a translate app, but I didn't want it that bad anyway. And then they're like, oh, okay, I see what he said, and they ended up passing it to me. But literally everyone on that plane, except for me and Gabe, was Chinese. Like it's funny because obviously there are a minority here. There's just like not as many people, but every single person, I was like, oh, this person is Chinese. Wow. Not that they're Chinese, but like there's no one else but just me and Gabe.
Yeah.
And as some of people, like you mentioned on the last pod, Zach, but every time we passed a Chinese person, I was gonna say this later, but just especially in China, in the airport it wasn't as bad because like they're expecting to see people from all over the place.
Yeah.
But in like Beijing and in the city, every time we passed someone, there was a double take. Like they would look at like I don't say I was like walking in front all the time, but I'm just like super vigilant, so I notice everything.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I started looking for it because I noticed like I'm seeing this reaction so many times, but they would like say they're looking at their phone or they're not paying attention, and we walk by and they look up because you just hear someone coming. They would look at me, and then just like out of reflex, you look up and look back, and then it would snap right back up. I was like, and they look at me and then look at Gabe and just like stare for as long as they could, and then they kept going. But that was one of the funniest things to me. And aside from
when you were in China, first of all, I'm assuming you didn't see a single other black person the entire time.
While in China, no, I think we saw one in the airport on the way back.
Okay.
And we may have seen. No, actually, I really don't think we did.
And did you see any other races that weren't Asian?
Yeah. There's some like European people there.
And I mean, did you see if they got any type of looks?
I think actually, they didn't really. Not as much as us.
Okay.
Definitely, and they didn't. No one asked them to take pictures anytime I saw them. But that's not to say that no one else anywhere else asked them. But, and like it felt. I was like, yo, this is probably, and I've like thought of this after the trip, but I was like, it's probably what it feels like for like celebrities and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Because it's just like. It's not like they're looking at you because like it's something crazy, like, oh wait, like what, or not something like they're racist or mad at you or something.
Yeah.
It was just like almost in awe, or just like, wait, what am I seeing? It's like if so like if like Cam Newton walked by, or like he did in the airport, and I was like, oh wow, that's Cam Newton. I looked and I was like, okay, and obviously some people are gonna ask to take pictures.
How many pictures would you say that you and Gabe had to take?
It was
with
in
people?
double digits.
Really? Did you take any pictures with people or just Gabe?
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
But half the time it was just like I was filming something, I was taking pictures, and either Gabe was around or in it. And so the first video I posted when we were at Forbidden City, that's where it was, when Gabe had all those people taking pictures with him. I said, I took a picture of him in front of it, and then a kid walks up. Not a kid, he might have been like 20 or something, but he's young, and he's like, "Hey," in pretty decent English. He goes, "Hey," to Gabe, "Hey, my grandma really wants to take a picture with you." So Gabe's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." Like, just like, it's somebody's grandma, you're not gonna say no, right?
Yeah.
And so he went and took a picture. He's just standing next to her, where she takes his arm and wraps it around him. Like he had it like up high or something.
Yeah.
And then she dropped it to like her hip. He's
Oh,
like, wait,
Gabe. She trying to slide on my dog.
It took like posed a couple times, took a couple pictures. This is like old, like it was hilarious,
Yeah.
right? So I'm taking pictures with my actual camera of that. And then someone else was like, "Wait, can we get a picture too?" Like, and asked him. He's like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care, bro." It was like a rush of people. It was like pandemonium.
Jeez. Just
all
for
of a
being
sudden,
black,
like
bro.
Gabe took 2 pictures, and they're like, "Oh, he's taking pictures!" Like, and like hustle. Like the first people in the video I sent were like 2 kids. They didn't even want to be in the picture. Didn't even ask to be in the picture. The mom threw the kids up there.
Wild,
That's why
bro.
they're looking awkward. Like, what do we do? Like, they threw it, and it was like, "Yo, take a picture." And then the next person was lying, and that's when I took my phone out because I was like, "Yeah, I'm getting pictures of it, but people need to see how ridiculous this is."
Were there any people that y'all rejected?
No, we didn't say no.
Oh,
to
yeah.
anybody. Yeah. And then one time, there's a few times I got asked also, but one of the times I was taking pictures. They're like, no, you get in it too. I'm like, oh, okay. What else? Oh yeah, let me just go back to the beginning. That was
And
just funny.
last question about that. Nobody like assumed that y'all were celebrities, or like thought that you were somebody else.
I mean, I'm not sure because you can't really understand him too much.
Oh my God, Michael Jordan.
No, it didn't happen like that. Or they didn't say that. But this one lady, she actually asked us both to be in the picture. I didn't get this one.
Yeah.
It was at the same place where Gabe took. It was like on the last day, and Gabe took a picture in front of I think it's called the Tiananmen. It's like a big temple or a building over there, and it was like a little Asian guy with like hairy eyebrows.
Yeah.
So after that, another older lady asked us, and her daughter was with her. She was probably like around our age, and it was funny because like she was getting annoyed with her mom because she's like, "Yo, come on, leave them alone."
Yeah.
Because she kept asking us questions and stuff, and trying to figure things out. But she was like, "Oh, like what do you do for work?" to Gabe. And then he was like, "Oh, like I do videography and photography." And I was like, and we walked away. I was like, "Gabe, she definitely thinks you shoot Hollywood movies. There's no way. Like, she doesn't think that you shoot films." Because part of it to them, like, is another thing. Everything's very cheap over there. Like for us, like,
Because they manufacture everything?
no, like food, everything is cheap. Ubers, they call them. They have like their app is called Didi, but all of it is super cheap.
Okay.
So just like thinking about it, if you put them in if you put yourself in their shoes, that it takes a lot of money to travel or something. Like because we're paying USD for it, they're probably paying whatever it is, and obviously theirs is worth less, or things are just usually cheaper for them. So a flight is going to be like even more expensive.
Chinese currency start with a Z, no? Is it a Z? Is it called
No,
a
it's
Z?
called. I think it's called like yen or something.
Yeah, it's yen.
And then the
I mean, to
abbreviation
be honest, I wouldn't
is
be surprised if they had multiple currencies, but it's yen's the one.
They
I know.
might honestly,
Yeah.
but then it's the abbreviation is like RMB or something. So yeah, it's like she definitely thinks that you shoot Hollywood films or something. But yeah, so the first day is the day we went to. Well, actually, so the first day we landed there like in the afternoon. It was like 4 their time. We left like 10 p.m. Tuesday at 4. And then I think we got there Thursday at 4. Yeah. So like with the time difference and then how like traveling hours, we basically lost a day.
Okay.
And then we were like they're 13 hours ahead of us right now. So what time is it now? It's already tomorrow for them.
Yeah.
It's like tomorrow morning, honestly. So like I would get a bunch of responses just like at random times, or I felt random over there because like I was like, oh wait, when we posted this, people were sleeping. It was like 2 a.m. So day one, yeah, we get to the hotel, drop our bags and stuff, check in, and then we went to go eat. We went to this place that like serves the traditional like Peking duck, and it's also called. I think it originated in Beijing because they also call it the Beijing duck.
Okay.
And it's honestly, have you ever had it or had something similar?
Peking duck, yes.
Did you have it where like they serve you the skin and stuff too with it?
I was young when I had it, so I don't really remember.
Because I've had it before and it wasn't like this, but like the duck was still really good when I had it before, but it wasn't like that. So I forget the process of it, but it's like a long process. It's like a slow cooking thing, but basically, the skin kind of caramelizes in a way, and they serve it to you with it's like I feel like it's like cane sugar or rock sugar.
Okay.
Teriyaki type, maybe like hoisin sauce or something, or sesame type sauce, and then onions and like I think like leeks or maybe green onion, like white onion and green onion, but this like it's like chopped longer. I think it were leeks. I'm not sure though. And then like dumpling wrap paper, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But open. So instead of it being like, so basically what gyozas would be, but before it's cooked.
Got you.
Kind of like an egg roll in a way, or a spring roll like wrap. And you're supposed to take the skin off, and it comes off super easy, just like knocking it off. You dip it in the sugar, you eat that first, or you eat that like that. It melts in your mouth, and it tastes like dessert.
Really?
It's one of the craziest things. It just like completely melts in your mouth. It's pretty good, obviously with the sugar.
Oh, I would definitely love that then.
Yeah, it's really good. And then you wrap the duck. Oh, when it's fresh and it first comes out, it's like I would describe the skin as almost like the way it melts in your mouth is almost like how cotton candy does, but it's stiffer and airy.
Gotcha.
So like if it was like maybe like a Jolly Rancher, like the crunch of a Jolly Rancher, but and it's not as dense.
Okay.
And the fluffiness or like the airiness of cotton candy and how it just melts in your mouth. So you just put it on your tongue and push it against like your palate at the top of your roof, and then it just like completely melts. And I was like, yeah, that's wild. That's really good. Okay. So then you wrap it in a thing, you put the sauce on it, you wrap it in the dumpling paper, put the leek and onion in it with the actual like duck breast meat or whatever, and have it like that, and that's really good too.
How are the portions out there? Because obviously they say
they're
we're
decently
fat
big.
Americans.
Yeah,
Really?
they're like at least at that place, but that place was across the street from an American
Got you.
Like an expat?
hotel.
Oh.
And that
Did
was
y'all-
one of the only ones that had like reviews on Google, which I've realized like they don't use Google over there, and that's why. So only Americans that go there would review. But when we went there were some tourists because they were staying at their hotel, but everyone else looked like just like local.
People just don't use Google out there, or Google's blocked out there?
It's blocked out there too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Security, right?
Huh?
Like national security, right?
I mean, for them, I think it's
Well,
an
yeah.
American company, so they.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you use VPNs out there? Like, would it be?
Yeah, you can. Gabe used a VPN for a couple things, but yeah, you have to use VPNs to access like our sites and stuff if you
Okay,
want.
got you. Y'all stayed in a hotel or Airbnb?
Sometimes the VPNs are blocked too, though.
Okay.
We stayed in a Holiday Inn Express because we
Okay.
ended up getting free breakfast there too.
Got you. Okay.
So first night we did that. It was cold up there too. It was like 20 degrees, and walked around a little bit, but it was like super dead. And like I think it was like 8 or 9 or something, or maybe close to 10, and just like nothing was open, no one was outside really. And I was like, yeah, how many? Like it's supposed to be a lot of people that live here, but you don't really see anyone.
Really?
Around. Yeah.
And that's in Beijing
Yeah, it's in Beijing
on
too.
a Tuesday night.
On a Wednesday.
Gotcha.
Wednesday, or maybe Wednesday or
There's
Thursday.
no
night.
like any bars or anything like.
I was
close?
just gonna ask it because I know that's not like you or Gabe's thing.
Yeah, not
so-
around us. So I mean, we didn't really go to any. but there also wasn't any around us too. Then yeah, so we went to sleep, woke up the next day, got up early, went and had breakfast at the hotel. The breakfast is actually lit. Like they have like dumplings and like steamed buns for breakfast.
Steamed buns.
Yeah, like the and like bows or whatever.
Yeah.
They have they serve, like, you know how places will have coffee, or like have a coffee mug like a hotel will. They have coffee, but they also have tea there. And it'll be like jasmine tea or something. And there's like literally tea everywhere you went. They had a bunch of fruit. They had a few like croissants and stuff and cereals, but that wasn't most of it. The other stuff was like they had fried rice. They had there's vermicelli noodles and something else. They had like it's not pho, but like, and not ramen, but another like noodle soup dish that was like build your own basically.
Okay.
So they have like the build your own omelet sections. It was like that, and I was like, oh, they're doing like omelets, but I was like, I'm not about to have an omelet on this trip. Like the first day I was there, I didn't notice it the last day. I was like, oh, it's a soup.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not about to have an omelet, like an American omelet, when I could just eat like Chinese food here. And the food was pretty good and pretty comparable to like, like some hotels will give you like really cheap food for breakfast. It was like most of the stuff was like the food we got other places, and the food we got other places was good too.
Okay.
What else they have? Yeah, so it kind of varied or whatever, but it was definitely a good mix of stuff. They had this thing called, have you ever had scallion pancakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have scallion pancakes too.
They sell it at Trader Joe's.
Yeah. So yeah, that was breakfast. Then we took a Didi to the Great Wall, and we get there, right? You said what?
So y'all took a what?
A Didi. That's like an Uber.
Oh.
To the Great Wall. The other thing is that everybody, now I want to say everybody, but it feels like everybody smokes cigarettes there. Like it's still like cigarettes are still very popular.
Yeah,
even
I think that's all across Asia.
Yeah,
not just China. Yeah. And Europe too, honestly. I think it's just like not just America, but a lot of countries still like very heavily smoking tobacco.
They probably don't put as much terrible shit in their cigarettes as we do.
They're smoking American cigarettes, bro.
Oh really?
Yeah. In the whole in the Qatar airport, like the duty free areas, most of what was there was cigarettes. And like there's Costco sized boxes of cigarettes.
That's wild, bro.
Like you're buying them in bulk, and they're saying and just as like almost equally as big branding, it says like this product will kill you. Like
really?
And people are still buying them. Like it was a duty free store, tax free, whatever, store that was dedicated only to like, I think they had some liquors, but it was majority cigarettes. And then the line was out like it was the decently long line for it. And that's the ones that were selling in bulk. It was like if you got, what do you sell in bulk here? Like snacks or whatever in bulk, like in huge boxes at Costco. Imagine that, but just like cigarettes. So yeah, we get to the wall, and then when we get there, like we have to take a bus up to the wall. And on this bus, like I said, it's just Chinese people and us. There's like a little tour guide, and she's like going off about whatever she's going off about.
Is she speaking Chinese or
yeah, English? She's speaking Chinese and only Chinese, and it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe this is like is this a part of the tour, or is she telling us stuff we're gonna need to know when you get up there? So like, after a while, I was like, all right, hold on. So I take my phone out, and I'm just holding down the translate thing because it'll pick it up like Shazam almost. But after a certain point, it can't do it anymore. It just like cuts off, and then it loads everything. Yeah. And then so I would, after I load everything, I would read it, and I'm like, I would just like be in the middle of a conversation, and I'm like, oh, she's talking about this, but she's saying like, hey, if you're a small child or this or that, you're gonna want to go here because you can't walk up this thing or whatever. Like I'm seeing some of that, and then I'm like, oh, let me like, all right, I read it real fast and then record it again, and then she's on to like this other topic, and I'm like, yo, I'm not catching anything of what she's saying. So the first stop was if you wanted to like walk up the wall, which I think we ended up like we originally wanted to do, but like half the people got off, or not that many people got off, and we thought we needed to get a ticket first before we can go up there. And so we're like, all right, let's just go like get off at the second thing. And I was like, oh, we need a ticket. And she's like, oh, go like to the next one. So we got off to the next one, and the thing you needed a ticket for, well, you needed a ticket for both, like to get on the wall, and then also you needed one for the lifts or that whatever you take, like ski lifts almost. So we get there like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just like take the ski lift. It'll be cool also because we'll get a different kind of view of like the wall, or I guess like the surrounding area. So we ended up doing that, and we go on there, and there was honestly a ton of people out there. Mm-hmm. And it was like a light day for it, so I can only imagine how many people are there usually. But the wall is crazy. It goes on for forever. It's on like the peak of like a mountain ridge or like hill ridge, and like it's not like it's like gradual. It's like this. It's like a some of the sections of the wall are at like a 70-degree incline. Really? So when you're walking on it, you're using your calves entirely. Yeah. Like have you ever seen like that that video of like a monk walking up the side of like a mountain? Yeah. That was, and then there's people like holding on. Yeah. It was like there was like rails and stuff. People were holding on it, but it was like that much of an incline on some of the parts. And I'm like, yo, you have to. It took like 2,000 years plus or something to make it, and I'm like, you have to be really mad at somebody to build a wall that big, that long, for like 2,000 years.
How long it is from end to end?
I don't, but I was looking up like information about it, and it said in one of the links I saw, so yeah, only 9% of the original wall is still intact or still there. Really? And I was like, that is insane. If this is 9%.
Wait, why'd they build the wall? What were they separating from? Like a dynasty or something?
Yeah.
God,
it was a few.
That shit's 13,000 miles.
Yes, right. It was like across dynasties, across empires, but Mongolians and other like different tribes are some of the reason, and to protect the Silk Road is another reason that it was built. So yeah, that thing is crazy. Like, so we probably saw like 1% of it, maybe not even that much. Like where we were, and it's kind of it's very crazy because it's like we went in the morning too, so the sun was rising. It was cold out, and kind of similar to here when it's cold out, there's no clouds. So it was like a perfect, beautiful day, and you just see like rolling hills, rolling like mountain, like sharp hills or whatever. Yeah. And just like the wall on top of it, and then occasionally like a tower or whatever.
Bro, I can't even comprehend 13,000 miles. I just looked up how far it is from. I also feel like this isn't right, but from Miami to LA, the shortest distance is 2,000 miles.
That's crazy then.
Yes. So like 6 times.
Wait, was it 13,000 miles or kilometers when it said?
Miles.
That's crazy.
It's 21,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's wild, bro. Now I feel like I've always wanted to see the Great Wall of China, but now knowing that, and that's only 9%.
Yeah, like 8 or 9. What was it? 8 or 9% was left, yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if America's wall is gonna look like that.
Yeah,
Trump builds it.
But I'm saying like Trump hated the Mexicans, right?
Yeah, and
he still didn't build the wall.
He's gonna build it this time around.
So how bad do you have to be pissing somebody off for them to be like, nah, we're making this thing 13,000 miles that way?
Before technology that we have
right, they're
today.
sitting there laying bricks and cutting into the side of mountains to build this. Like, wow.
That's using all your manpower.
For
yeah,
real,
and also the wall honestly wasn't that tall, but like in that area that you're in, like if you come up to a wall and it's just straight up, you're like, all right, I can't do anything. Yeah. And if there's people on it, like you're messed up. You're done.
Now I gotta see how tall it is.
But yeah, that's the other thing. People out there aren't really tall at all. Like me and Gabe were kind of giants out there. And if you were like my height, if you were like 6 foot or higher, you had to be like in. I feel like that if you saw Gabe's post when I said I was gay, I feel like it's required. I was talking about just like a height requirement, because if you're like anyone I saw that was over 6 feet was usually in the military, or maybe a police officer. But it's like even like the police officers would be like 5'10" or something. But if they were over 6 feet, any tall Chinese person I saw, they were in the military.
Gotcha.
Like.
For the people wondering, the average height of the wall is about 26 feet.
Oh, 26 feet tall.
Yeah.
China got some baddies.
Nah. Honestly, just internationally, I feel like just there aren't as many. Like even in the airport, maybe it's just the airport I was at. But I was like, yo, that's actually one of the notes I had. I was like, there's no cheeks out here, you know? Like there's only thick people in America.
Yeah.
Or like the amount of, I guess in Miami more because we're not always in different areas, but I think even like I'm in New York or other areas too, there's generally more, you see more fit people now, you know, but there it was just like everyone, it was just a regular person, and they didn't, if they worked out, it wasn't like for building muscle and stuff, it was probably just for longevity or like whatever kind of exercise. But everyone's also really small too. Like I have a 4'10" grandma, and I was like, yo, she's taller than some of these people.
I mean, Chinese diet is what, noodles and soups and
Rice.
And
Yeah, they eat
vegetables.
I think they eat a lot of
dumplings, yeah.
seafood, maybe too. Well, maybe it depends.
So it's
on
probably
part
not
of
as
China.
fattening as the standard American diet.
Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about fat. I'm talking about like, you know, people like work out here, you know,
Yeah.
and
They just look. You saying they look like
women
this,
try
right?
to build their butts and just like get fit, you know. It didn't seem like there was any of that there, and there's definitely fat people and stuff and unhealthy people, a lot of unhealthy people, which is another thing I had. But yeah, I feel like 1/3 of them were sick.
Really?
I ended up getting sick on the way back,
Damn.
like during like the tail end of the last day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like 1/3 of, and I looked it up too. I was like, I feel like this is a stereotype, and it is a stereotype that Chinese people are like the sickly man of the Asian community or whatever. And I was like, I can see why they think so, but their hygiene was just kind of bad also.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there looked like they hadn't seen a dentist in a really long time. And also there, I didn't see any homeless people
Really?
the entire time. Like there was like no homeless people.
Okay.
But yeah, then what was I gonna say? Oh, and then they also don't cover their mouths when they sneeze or cough. And it's just like, and for that, and then also feeling like a third of the people were sick. I was like, everywhere you go is just like fireworks, like, and just like spraying out. And like, me and Kate were like, yo, they're really not gonna cover their mouth or anything. Like they didn't have napkins or tissues too, so it wasn't like no one had like snot on their face, but they didn't. They would just
Yeah.
and keep walking.
Permeating everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, no, there's no way. And like I'm already sensitive to cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And anytime I'm around cigarettes, it usually makes me more susceptible to getting sick. So the whole time I'm like, yo, I'm just trying not to get sick. And the first day I did really good because I had my water with me, like the big canteen thing.
Yeah.
And I was drinking a ton of water. But the second day I was like, I really don't feel like carrying because I had just that gray bag you see there with my camera in it. And I would just put it on there, but it would make it that much heavier because it's like a half a gallon of water that you're carrying around or whatever. And we were going to be walking a lot more. So I didn't have it that time. And then I felt like that's probably why I ended up getting sick. But
it was a lot of people wearing masks out there because I know even
there was a lot of people
before
wearing masks too.
COVID,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wearing masks still. And just because I'm like, I get it because people out here are not.
Yeah.
Don't cover your mouths.
Not, and there's like, I ended up figuring like, all right, this is probably a cultural thing, and they don't think anything of it over there because of how they're reacting and stuff. They just walk where they're going.
Yeah.
Like they just walk straight. They don't. If you're in the way, they're just gonna continue to walk straight. And they like people would just be bumping into me and Gabe, and we're like, yo, like if we did what they're doing, we would be knocking people over.
Yeah.
Because we're that much bigger than them. And obviously it felt rude to us, but like I was like, looking at them do it to other people also. No one looked the second time, no one anything. They just like kept going, and like they probably bumped into someone. So I was like, yeah, it's probably a cultural thing because this is like a nothing to them. And then so where were we at? The wall. So after the wall, we got asked for like a couple pictures there too. Like random. There's a lot of kids there too.
Got you.
And when you see like younger kids, like if me just like looking at them, if they're like 24 4 and younger, they're probably going to try to talk to you, especially talk to you in English. Or there's a lot of kids that I saw there that were just like, they dressed like if they were
Yeah.
not American, but you could tell they were American culture
Yeah.
influenced, or just at least Western.
They got on some Chinese babes.
Yeah. And then they obviously had their tough guys and people trying to look tough and stuff. But it was so funny. I'm like, yo, you're 5'7". Like, you're 5'7".
Yeah.
But and don't look like harmful or like athletic or anything in the slightest. But they're just
Speaking of athletic, I know you're not done with your story, but did you try hooping out there? Because I know obviously
I look for basketball.
Did you?
Like, so the two. One, I mean, it was everything's pretty much closed there for like Spring Festival. They're off for work for like a week.
Wait, what's Spring Festival?
Lunar New Year, same thing.
Oh, okay.
So Lunar New Year kicks off like the Spring Festival.
Got you. Okay.
The Spring Festival is for like is what they call the whole week. So we were like saying like, oh, like where's like the New Year parade? And they're like, what are you talking about? And it's just a festival. It's a Spring Festival. People are gonna be like home and stuff. And we're like, what? And we got there like, there's no way. Like we see it. We see stuff on Google from last year of the streets being like packed and people doing things. But like we asked 3 or 4 people, we said parade specifically, and it probably didn't translate well.
Yeah.
But like, oh, like where's the parade, or like where are like the activities happening? And they're like, oh, like traditionally people, like Chinese people, just stay home and be with their families for it.
Okay.
And I'm like, which is true. But they also go out and do like that shopping thing and like have that presentation and stuff. That one of the ones that we saw. So the day before, this is like the same day we went to the wall, we're asking people, and people are looking at us confused, and we're like, yo, do we come out here and really nothing is going to really open, and people aren't doing anything? But yeah, so we go eat food on the second day after we see the wall. Oh yeah, people were, so if little kids will come up to you and try to like practice their English, they'll be like, hello, what is your name? And they're actually pretty good. And then they were like, oh, where are you from? And do like that kind of thing. But yeah, so we probably took 4 pictures with people there. We met someone named John Way. Shout out to Phil's John Way.
Facts.
I have a video of it actually too. And I didn't realize I did. But I was like I was trying to take a video or pictures of like the gondola ride up. And we were in there with like a dad and a daughter. And Gabe was like practicing her saying like, oh yeah, what's your name? My name is this, like, because he had learned that stuff. And the guy answered in English, and he's like, oh, I'm John Way. And I was like, what? I know a John Way.
I feel like that might be a super common name.
It probably is, yeah. Because John would be their...
he's Chinese?
Yeah.
Seafood's Chinese.
John would be like their English name too.
Yeah.
And they don't really get too creative with it. So there's probably
Way is for
50,000
sure the Jackson
Johns.
of Chinese.
Is it? Yeah.
Probably Jackson Johnson. It's a very common Chinese last name.
Yeah. Or Smith. Smith would be the most famous of English names. Where was I at?
The gondola, you met John Way.
Oh yeah, John Way. No, that was like a side thing. So then we walked to Tiananmen Square to see like the Forbidden City, or like go to the Forbidden City, because it was like one of the big things there, and then go to Tiananmen Square. So we go to the Forbidden City, and we're like, all right, we know we need a ticket for it, so we try to get a ticket. And the day before, someone told us like, oh, you need like 7 days, a ticket, and like a reservation made 7 days in advance, but to be able to go. And we're like, oh damn, that's crazy. We definitely don't have that.
No.
So we do that, and we try to get in, and we can't. Or we go to Forbidden City, and we're like, all right, we can't go to Forbidden City. So we'll see the Tiananmen, or go to like Tiananmen Square after. So we have to, and because like the time of year it was, all traffic, like foot traffic, had to flow one way. So we had to walk literally around the Forbidden City, basically, to get to like the entrance of where we needed to go, or like a big section of it. And then once we finally get to the entrance, they're like, oh no, you need like a reservation and stuff.
Damn.
When the person that we were talking to before is like, oh no, you're good. Yeah. Just go to the front. And like for whatever reason, your passport would work sometimes. So like we got past the first one. He's like, oh, you just want to take pictures? All right, yeah, you can go. Let me just see your passport. They check our visa and like, all right, you good. You get to the next one, and they don't really know English that well either. So like you try to use the translate thing, and he's like, oh, do you have an appointment? He ended up saying. And I was like, no. And he's like, sorry. Like, that's what he said in English, sorry. Just like, you got to go. And it's just people in uniform are like, yo, I can't explain anything to them. So, like, all right, we're just going to do whatever anyone says, whatever, you know? So we ended up going to stop and eat for a second and then figure out where we're going next. And that's when we tried to go to, I guess I explained the whole thing. But at Forbidden City was the first time that I recorded, because there was like 15 people waiting in line to take a picture with Kate.
Got you.
So then, we go to eat, and then we go to this place called the Temple of Heaven. We ended up going there the second day, but we go to the area, and it's there's a park. I would call it a park, but the Temple of Heaven obviously is a temple, but there's like a surrounding area that I guess was just dedicated to it, and would be and is reserved, I guess, as a park. So we enter that, and she's like, oh, like it's about to close, so I'm not sure you want to go in. She didn't really say that. She just like barked like, it's closed, you can't come. And we're like, we're just trying to get in to see like whatever. So we ended up getting the ticket and going in. And right when we get to the front of where the Heaven's, I think it's called Heaven's Gate Temple, or like the Temple of Heaven. It like translates a couple different ways, but so we get there, and as soon as we get there, it's closed, and they're only letting people out of one side. I'm like, damn, okay. But it looks super dope. So like, all right, we're gonna come back, and we're gonna try to come back here tomorrow. And then we ended up, like the time we tried to get into Tenement Square, we ended up finding out that, hey, we shouldn't be saying. We talked to the police officer. And I'm like, yo, where is everything's going on? Because when we're walking around the city, we're seeing barricades and stuff, and I'm like, yo, if everyone is home, why is there like new like barricades that aren't normally here up? Like, what are they preparing for? So we talked to the guy, and then he's like, oh yes, I say parade, and I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, Gabe's like, next time we have someone, I'm gonna just show him a picture. Yeah. So we find a picture on Google, and I'm like, I'm gonna just go back and talk to this guy. And he's like, oh, it's like the festival, the temple festivals, or temple fair, what do you call it? And what ends up happening is that every temple, or like certain areas or temples, will have their own fair and presentation. Which I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of like Easter, when each like church, like for us, each church would do like their own like Easter egg hunt, or like this big celebration kind of thing that's open to the public, but people from that area know about it and are going to go to it. So like, okay, we'll just like Google that and then figure out where those start, and we're like, all right, cool. Then when we were at that temple, we see signs and stuff. We can't read them, but we see signs and stuff for it, and like little cartoon dragons and stuff. This is the year of the dragon, and we're like, all right, this looks like it would be cool, and it's a really big area. Like the way their public spaces, that's another thing I'll say. The hygiene is bad, but the public spaces are very well kept. There was we didn't see trash anywhere. Yeah. They have people there that are like sweeping up trash, and it'll be like.
Do you think that's just where you were at though? Because I know I've seen, and of course it could be like propaganda or whatever, but that like the population and
it might have been because it was Beijing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I seen the trash could be bad in some parts of China, but obviously I don't know.
But even
China's pretty dirty.
Yeah, I mean it was dirty from a standpoint of like, you felt dirty there, but there wasn't just like junk and trash everywhere.
Yeah, got you.
There's like. It seemed like they were good about like either picking it up or like people. I also didn't see people littering or doing any of that stuff either. But yeah, like I said, we're in Beijing. It's one of the bigger cities, but it's, to me, I've seen pictures of other cities and they seem way more updated. But it also could have been just the area we were in, because we were in more of like the traditional area. There's like a lot of traditional temples and buildings and stuff. And there's a lot of government centers too, so it was a good mix of both. But yeah, they're most of their architecture is very low and short. They have like apartments and stuff. Yeah. But like the existing and old stuff, we were walking through most of old, like, I don't know if it's old or not, but the stuff was made out of like stone. Like it was probably there for a very long time. It was updated, like doors were updated and stuff.
Yeah.
You'd have updating plumbing and stuff, but the the actual like physical architecture of it was very like stone, and like it was pretty short. I was like, oh, like if we tried living here, it'd be kind of crazy. But it looked really cool too. So that's part of the some of the content you guys probably saw that looked like that more. Yeah. So where was I the last day? Yeah. So we ended up just missing it, and we're walking around trying to find the exit. And we're like, yo, this place is huge. They also said the public spaces, they keep them really well kept too. Like everything is symmetrical there. Like there would be like trees and stuff in this park area.
Yeah.
And they're all the same distance apart, and they're all like they're just basically put in rows. Like it would be like how you would see like fruit farms and stuff here, but like all their trees in this park were like that. Everything was super well kept. I also didn't see squirrels or like any kind of animals and stuff like that.
No wildlife.
No, I saw we saw like house cats, and the only time we saw them also were in this park.
No stray dogs or anything.
I saw one, maybe 2 stray dogs, but I don't think they were stray either.
Okay.
They were just like they had gotten out or something.
Yeah.
That's because that squirrel meat is the chicken in America. Niggas think they slick. They not slick, my boy.
Bro, I see some like house cats, and the house cats look well fed.
Yeah.
It was like winter. It was cold. Maybe they just have different cats there, but they were super fluffy and like bigger. They were bigger than normal cats here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that's wild. And that's literally the only thing we're seeing, and we didn't really see them in most of the streets. We just saw them in that park. But they have in that temple area, they have, I think it just translates bad, but it's I think a place where like traditionally they did sacrifices.
Okay.
But it was called animal sacrifices, but it was called like animal killing pit or something. And we're like, yo, maybe that's actually, I just thought about this now. Maybe that's little squirrels.
Yeah, maybe,
they just in there,
bro.
like
Everything's
they
been
need a sacrifice.
sacrificed.
Bam, you're done, squirrel. But yeah, so I read that and I was like, Gabe hadn't seen it. I was like, Gabe, do you see that? It was just animal killing pit or like palace or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so that was the first day. Second day. Oh, so we get back. It was pretty early for us. It was like 8 p.m., which is usually like the earliest we're in. But we were also out. And we were usually out on trips. We were usually out earlier and in later. But there really wasn't like nightlife and stuff to do. Most things were closed. And we were also tired because we were literally walking the entire time.
Yeah.
Like if we weren't, we took the DD from like to that area and like to the wall. But everywhere else we were walking. So we get back. Gabe's editing a few photos, and we're like looking up stuff. We ended up finding, because like 9 out of the 10 people told us nothing was happening the next day. We were still like, yo, what do we do? Like we know like we can go to this one of the temples that the guy told us about, and I was like, we can go to like Heaven's one, but who knows if they're actually going to be doing stuff at like 8 a.m. or like whenever we get out there. So we look up one, and it's like, oh, this is the oldest standing tradition, or like the oldest standing fair or tradition or whatever. So like, all right, bet we'll go to that one. And just because like if it's the longest standing one and it's a record, they're not gonna not have one, you know, because they're gonna at least want to keep that one like alive. So like, all right, well, we'll go to that one. And then we get there, they have the Uber like we didn't know there was an actual like exact location. So I'm like on Google Maps looking at it, and I'm like, all right, this is where it's saying it's gonna be around, like where they walk through. We should probably go to this area. So he puts it in the DD, and the DD driver ends up dropping us off literally right in front of where you saw this like post, like they were doing the dragon thing and like that presentation.
Yeah.
Literally like right in front of where it's gonna happen. Like the street's there, and then you take a couple steps. And not even a couple steps, you just turn around, and then like that little plaza or square that they did it in was right there. And so we just got lucky with like, all right, this is where we're gonna go. Yeah. And when we hopped out, we knew like, I was like, all right, something's gonna happen in this area because there's people dressed in like traditional Chinese like clothing and stuff. And like they had some guards, they had regular police and guards there, but they had some guards that were like dressed traditionally. So we got a couple pictures of them, and I'm like, all right, we're clearly in the right spot. But as soon as we hop out, it was like we had just stepped onto the red carpet or something.
Really?
Everyone just turned around and was like,
Yeah, and
what? Like, what the hell is like, how did they get here almost?
Yeah.
And then there was one guy who was like, I guess he was organizing it, or it seemed like he was
Mhm.
helping put it on. He came up to us, start speaking us in Chinese, asking us like, he asked us, yeah, what, like, how did you, but almost like, yeah, like, what are you guys doing here? This
Yeah.
was his first
Yeah,
one
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of translated to. And we're like, where are you guys from? And like, how did you get here? And I was like, oh, we're from America. We just wanted to like come for Lunar New Year or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, you're from America, cool. And he saw we had cameras and stuff. And then he comes back and he's like, so how did you find out about this? And I was like, oh, we just like looked it up. We just
Yeah.
Googled it. And we went online and found it. He's like, oh, online. Okay. And then once I realized that there was a bunch going on in different places and stuff, it was like that's why I made the comparison to like it being like an Easter celebration.
Yeah.
Because we basically just pulled up to somebody's church, like get together almost.
Gotcha, yeah,
And
yeah.
so everyone probably knew each other there, and they just see us pull up and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, got you. Yeah, that
Or
makes
just
sense.
like, or like knew of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was like, I wouldn't say church, like, 'cause I don't think it's like a religious thing. More so, it's just like a traditional, like
Yeah.
cultural thing. But yeah, but I think it was.
It's
It was
probably
more
like you pulled
community.
up to someone's like New Year's party or some shit like that. Like actual New Year's, not Chinese New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, obviously, there's people there that didn't know each other and
Yeah.
stuff, and eventually, like that's where that celebration happened. But the street you were on is one of like the older commerce streets where they would have like markets and stuff, and everything was like stores now. But like, so after that happens, you just walk along this like and it's like routed for you or whatever. This traditional like commerce street, it would be like their downtown, but like
Mhm.
back then, and or just like their traditional like older like I don't want to say ancient because I'm not exactly sure how long it's been there, but it's probably been there for like at least 1,000 years, like that area or whatever.
Got you.
You just walk through there, like the custom is to go into the shops and buy things and stuff. So we ended up getting a couple things, and it's just like a big shopping holiday almost.
Mhm.
Not shopping as in like, oh, there's sales and stuff like how we have here, but it's just like I think it's just traditionally you go there, you go to the shops. They're not selling like they're not selling like TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
They're selling like traditional stamps and stuff made out of marble, jade things, different art things, like paintings or like those like pictures and stuff that they'll have. Some like, what is it, souvenir-y type things, like they're like plush dragons and other things like that
Yeah.
too. So we did that, and it's just like goes on forever. You go in and out of people's like shops. It's mostly like jewelry and like art and like marble and jade type stuff.
Mhm.
Did I get something?
Gabe, what did Gabe get? Gabe got a Year of the Dragon because he knows someone that was born in the Year of the Dragon. His girlfriend's born in the Year of the Dragon, and then got them another like necklace or something. And
His
then
girlfriend's born year to dragon.
yeah.
Sorry. I keep doing that. My
So
You good?
wait, doing what?
Stepping on my cord.
Stepping
Oh.
on his core, my bad, little cutie.
You
Yeah,
good?
so we did that, and then we ended up going to Temple of Heaven after, because we're like, all right, we want to see what this one is. There wasn't too much of like a celebration going on, but they had like ice creams. I didn't try any, but it looked like an ice cream cone or ice cream that was in the same shape as the Temple of Heaven,
Yeah.
and actually, it was actually pretty cool too. It was like I looked at it as like you get like the Mickey Mouse ice cream at like
Mhm.
Disney or something. So we go in there and there's a ton of people. Luckily, we got dropped off at the same entrance we did last time because there was less people going through that, and the way to get in was less people too. We didn't realize that until we were walking out because there was, I think I posted it when we were walking out, like a picture of like the people behind me. But there was a
Did y'all
a
post
huge
anything
line.
like on your actual? I think I only saw stories.
Yeah, it was only stories that we
Okay.
did. Yeah,
Got you.
but I'll make like a highlights of it and stuff. I've been meaning to, and then Gabe has all his posts as highlights as well. So if you're listening, you can still see what we're talking about. So we go there, and that temple was like, is amazing. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. How big it is, and just like the area that it covers, and just like how they just have reverence for these big like architectural things too,
Yeah.
you can tell. So we did that day, and then after that we tried to find like a traditional tea house to go do tea tasting and stuff, but it was like 6 or 7 already, and everything was closed. So that was pretty much the entire trip from there. But yeah, towards the end of that day, that's what I was also trying to go. I was like, let me drink a bunch of tea, and that'll help too, make me feel better, and like help me probably not get as sick. Then the next day we left, and we just ended up going to. Gabe does this thing where he will mail postcards from wherever he's at
Okay.
to his like niece to help them like learn geography and
Mhm.
stuff, and just as like a through line in all of his trips. So we were trying to find like post office, and there's nothing. That's when I looked for the basketball courts. We saw
Gotcha.
2, but they were just like used for storage space basically. Like there's
Okay.
a bunch of just like whatever in there.
Yeah. Bro, I can't see AJ.
And then there was like a little park where literally nothing was allowed. It was like there was no running, there was no walking your dog.
What? What's
there
the
was-
point of the park?
It was just for walking. Like it was like
It's a
there was like a
walking
path
park.
and stuff. It was like they were like you can't be too loud.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it
you said
was-
no running?
Yeah, and there's no running. It wasn't even that big. It was
Yeah.
like what a
So wait, is
probably the size of what like a small dog park would
Gotcha.
be.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's like a path around it. You're just walking, and there was like 25 people there just walking, and I was like, all right, they're like that. I guess they're getting their exercise in. And there was like little exercise like stretching kind of, like
Yeah.
those like fitness trails
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
know
was
what you're
kind of like
talking
that.
So how is China in comparison to how is China in comparison to how it's depicted in America?
How is it depicted?
As a red, like a communist country is not that great.
I mean I wasn't there that long,
I was
and I
gonna say,
wasn't
I
in
feel like
like
3
a
days
bunch
is
of
tough to
areas.
tell.
Yeah, a bunch of like different areas in China, and I think Beijing is different than a lot of places. Like I think they have a downtown and like big buildings and stuff, or like high tech building stuff, but it's still, I think it's kind of like their capital. So they have.
Mhm.
I actually don't know if it's their capital, but I know it's one of the longest standing like cities there. So they have like a lot of traditional stuff too. Like I've seen pictures of different areas of China, like when Jeff was living there and stuff, and everything looks super modern. And there was parts that looked modern, but we never even went into those parts. And for the most part, everything else, it was kind of modern, but it wasn't like to the standard of what you see in a lot of different Asian countries like Korea or something, or
Mhm.
like Singapore, or or like those kind of countries. The what I wouldn't say that they're behind, but it feels almost like what America in the 90s kind of felt like.
Okay.
Just as in like almost like infrastructure, not infrastructure too, but just like obviously the cigarettes thing,
Mhm.
and just like the general I don't want to say health conditions, but I feel like America now, people are way more health conscious than they were then.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like, all right, we're just like, they're just like living, they don't really care. But like I said, it was cool because there's no homeless people also. So from that standpoint, that was cool to see too. But yeah, did I kind of answer your question, or?
Sort of ish.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had. Well, it sounds like you didn't have like a preconceived notion of China prior to going. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
didn't
don't
really
have,
have
if
one.
you didn't have that, then you wouldn't have looked for it or noticed it. So
Yeah, I would say, and I also went at a weird time because there was not a lot of people there, but then there was also a lot of people there for Spring Festival. So I was expecting this, like there's like 1 billion people in China, so I was expecting to see a ton of people.
yeah.
But the majority of the time, I was like, it felt less dead than Miami, or even Fort Lauderdale, or even like Pembroke Pines.
Interesting.
So, like I didn't really see many people. Like the day we were walking down the street, granted it was Spring Festival, like the first day after like the original day, so there was no one outside because for the most part people are off, and we were kind of up at like 9. But It wasn't like a ghost town, but there wasn't many people like just walking around and stuff, or even just out. And that's how it felt like the entire time, except for the time during the fair when we were in like those dense areas. Then it was like, all right, this is where all the Chinese people are. But a lot of people fly in for it as well. So I don't know what it would be like on a regular day. And then also the guy I work with that sells a lot on Amazon, his wife is Chinese from China. And she was telling me, she was like, oh, yeah, there's not going to be much going on. And he was like, oh, like you're going to, he was like, oh, it might be a bad time to go because there's going to be a ton of people there for it, so everything will be crowded. And she's like, actually, it's probably a pretty decent time to go because people aren't going to be doing much too. So I had that expectation as well. I was like, all right, I'm probably not going to see as many people as I thought. But even the airport, like, was, I guess we were in the international side and that was kind of small. But the airport we were at, there wasn't a ton of people there either. There's also a lot of like space. They have some streets that are like would be an 8-lane highway here, but it's just like it was like, what's a main street down here?
US
Maybe like
1?
Biscayne
Yeah,
or US 1.
US
Yeah, US 1 or
Dixie.
Biscayne would be like 8 lanes wide on both
Okay.
sides. And then when you cross the street, you just walk under the streets. There's some like smaller streets will have regular crossing ways, but for the most part, they build like the little bridge that goes over the streets, or you walk under the street, kind of like you're entering into a subway, but you just walk under the street to get to the other side. So stuff like that, I was like, oh, this makes sense. That's cool. But obviously we can't do that here because you'll just dig into water. What else? Yeah, we have any more questions?
China ain't got no baddies.
No, not really.
That's Phil's takeaway.
I saw like 2 or 3.
Nah, China ain't got no baddies. Yeah, that's my takeaway. Sound like it's cool.
AJ been talking for
But I
an
feel
hour,
like-
and that's
I know
Phil's
what it sounds.
Yeah, I feel like I would like the other areas better too.
Yeah.
And Jeff said that
It
too,
sounds
yeah.
cool, but it don't sound like sounds like I would much rather go to Japan than China.
Yeah, I think Gabe liked Japan better too, but China's also like dumb cheap. Oh, that's what I didn't say. So they use like Alipay over there. It's called Alipay or WeChat Pay. Hold on. I might be loud at one point. Say something, Phil.
What's up?
Say something again.
Yo.
All right, got you. Yeah. I think the pillow. I don't know how long it's been, but the pillow hit the. I mean, it's only really been me talking, but the pillow hit the recorder. So Alipay wouldn't only some certain cards are work there. Amexes do work there, but places who I guess accept them are kind of selective. Visas are also similar. Most of the time, Visas don't work, but Mastercards work. Discovers work. I don't know if it's Discover, but Mastercards work, and everyone takes this thing called Alipay, which is basically kind of like Apple Pay.
Okay.
I would say Apple Pay and Cash App kind of mixed together in a way. It's actually pretty cool because you just you open the app and you can scan like a QR code.
Yeah.
Or if people have like a scanner, they can like scan it with like the scanning gun. They also have like tap to pay and stuff too, but for the most part, everything is Alipay or WeChat Pay.
Got you.
WeChat is like their social media, but it's everything. It's their social media, messenger. You can order food on it. You can pay for things. You have to have a Chinese bank to have it.
Well, because they have social. They have social
scores.
social scores. Yeah.
And obviously their social media is
I didn't
very.
know that.
Yeah, nigga, you will get exiled for being a bad citizen.
Really?
Yes,
for talking
nigga,
bad
that's
about
where
the
a
government.
social score comes from.
You
And-
say social score like we
like
have
a-
that here. I
well,
just know
they're
it
trying
from
to-
Black Mirror. That's
The
it.
thing is, they're trying to implement it here.
I don't know
That's
exactly
the
how it works.
conspiracy.
Uh,
Is that it's trying to
Okay.
eventually we'll get to that point.
I got you.
But yes, China uses a social score system, and you can get a negative social score for like polluting and shit and being a
Damn.
badass
So that
citizen.
Black Mirror shit was real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I watched the documentary on there's pretty good documentaries and information on it on YouTube actually.
Okay. You'll have to send that my way.
I got you.
but yeah, I think Beijing is. Even Jeff told me, he's like, it's different than most other places. Not most other places in China, but like South China is. That's where he spent most of his time. And he liked it more too. I think he was in Beijing, or he was somewhere, and then he went to Guangzhou, which is where he ended up staying. and he just didn't leave. He's like,
Yeah.
he just told his agent, he's like, just find me a team here because I'm not going to where I was. And he said it's kind of like Miami. And he said there's black people there too.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they all
Probably expats.
Nah, I was gonna say, are they all foreign overseas players?
Probably, maybe. And then what was I gonna say?
So the food is decent.
Yeah, the food was good. Everything was we didn't like, we had like beef or chicken or whatever. We didn't like, or lamb, and then the duck that one time. But so we didn't like really take too many chances or or do anything like that. They had these they had everything they eat over there, at least in the areas we were, like the little street vendors and stuff, was just on a stick. So it would just be meat on a stick, sausage on a stick. Like they imagine a corn dog,
Yeah.
but it's a sausage, I guess. Yeah, corn dog, but a sausage, and it's on a stick, but there's just no cornbread part.
Nigga, just a dog.
Yeah,
it's
so
just it's just bare naked glizzy on
Yeah.
a stick, and they're just like, wow, Gabe like
Not a raw
Gabe,
glizzy.
Gabe like, oh my god, he's
Yeah,
gonna
of course.
Not a raw glizzy.
or it'd be like kebabs and stuff, like steak or whatever meat it was on a stick.
Straight to the point with the
And
food.
then there maybe it's like a traditional dessert, but the dessert was or like the candy or treats that everyone wanted were fruit on a stick, and then you dip them in like really hot, I guess, sugar, and then we pull it out like kind of like caramelize or kind of hardens.
Yeah.
Like there's lines out the door for all of those things every time.
What was the pollution like? Because the homie told me it was like super polluted, like fog and stuff.
It wasn't. I mean, we also went in winter, right? So when like the air's a little bit lighter, it was decently windy and stuff, and there was no clouds, so it was hard to tell if there's pollution. But
Is Beijing by the water?
but no, it's not.
Okay.
But it did smell bad sometimes. Like you could smell like the sewage, and I actually mentioned that to Gabe. I was like, oh, if it was actually hot outside, or if this was the summer, it would probably stink a lot more.
Exactly.
Just like in New York when
Yeah.
it's hot and like the trash cooks and stuff or whatever, you know, it kind of like there's like a lingering stench. But yeah, and Beijing I would compare it more to New York than any other city, because it's a bigger city. It's more north. It's more city style, like the architecture and stuff. At least where we were, even in the old parts, and I think there's supposed to be more people there. But imagine just like no people outside in New York,
Yeah, that'd be wild.
or just you see 10 people on the street at a time. when
That
you're
was
outside.
New York during COVID, I guess. So
Yeah, so it went from that to then like the New York Marathon when
Yeah.
everybody's on the street, because we were like, yo, this is where all the people are. And yeah, so there was like this is on the first day of when the thing kicked off. And so we saw that presentation. Oh, one of the photographers there had Gabe pick up the dragon heads, or like the stick that held the dragon, and like pose with it or act like he was doing it.
yeah.
And at first we were like, yo, I don't know if we should be doing this, because we didn't want to be, not that we wanted to be like disrespectful,
Yeah.
but it's also like, imagine going to pick up, like a play is about to happen and you're just there to watch the play,
Mm-hmm.
and then some photographer's like, yeah, come pick up
Yeah,
the
exactly.
like Lion King's helmet or something and like put it on or something. So, you know, and no one really said anything. And then there's like a little red carpet and then like a backdrop, and then we went and took pictures in front of it. Gabe was like, yo, AJ, if you go up there, everyone's gonna ask us for a picture. So we go up there, and literally everyone has a camera, just like starts snapping pictures of us as we're standing up there. Gabe took more pictures there. They weren't trying to let him go. Yeah, but I was getting something there. Oh yeah, so the shops and stuff. Some of the other shops are like, I guess the places that had really expensive stuff in it, are like the art museums and like galleries. It would be like there were some galleries like in like how Design District has galleries.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have like security in front, and oh yeah, the police officers don't have guns too. No one has guns.
Yeah.
It's just like they're just wearing a police uniform and they have like a baton,
Mm-hmm.
and like
I bet
you
them
act
niggas
up.
can fight.
If you act up, they might beat you. They can fight. You said?
You gotta be able to fight. Think about it. You ain't got guns. I bet they hand-to-hand combat go crazy.
Maybe, but I think it's also just like people don't act up there, and it would be like if one person did, everyone would be like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Social score on the
Yeah.
decline. On the decline.
But so they had like some security guards and stuff. And one of the places had the smallest security guards, and they were dressed in kind of, I wouldn't say traditional, but it looked similar armor to like Mongolian monks or not monks, but Mongolians. And like they had one had a helmet on and they had like a shield and like a bat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, some of them did, or some of them were just standing there. But they were honestly probably 5'3" and lower, or
Really?
smaller, maybe not even 5 feet, like some of them. Like they were on, like brownstones have like the steps up to the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had steps up to that. They were standing on that. They were barely taller than me and Gabe.
Yeah.
Like we were almost looking them in their eyes. And I'm like, yo, how small do these people have to be?
They like jockeys out
They
there.
they almost are like if they lived here, or if they were here, people probably may consider them a small person or
Yeah.
a midget. Like it's like it was that close.
Yeah.
Like not legally, but for like small person basketball,
Mm-hmm.
the tallest you can be, I think, is like 4'11" or 4'10".
Yeah.
And like my grandma's 4'10", so
Mhm.
she could play little people basketball. And these people were like some were her height and some were smaller. Like I like she's smaller than my grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's probably everything. I kind of was all over the place. Let me look at these notes and make sure I didn't miss anything big. So flying. So on the way there, when you're flying, like you fly across time zones,
Mm-hmm.
and like, also just like light and darkness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because when it's nighttime somewhere else, it means like the sun is just not up there. But if you're flying, I got up, I went to the bathroom, and the sun was out. It was like 15 minutes, and not even 15. Like I waited in line for a second when the bathroom came out. I sat down and I was like, it's dark. It's dark on this plane. I just peed, and like I was in there for a minute. Like we literally just flew into darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the way back, we left kind of like in the afternoon, late afternoon. We were literally flying. Like if I couldn't see what the pilots could see, but I'm sure they could see the horizon where there was like sunlight and stuff. Because we just flew like because you could see on the map of like the flight path, you could just see like you're on the edge of darkness the entire way. So yeah, we definitely time traveled. Yes, food was actually okay on the planes. Oh, that's the other thing. There's surveillance cameras everywhere.
Really?
And even like there'll be like a cluster of there'll be like a light pole, right?
Yeah.
And there's like 4 or 5 surveillance cameras, some pointing in the same way. And like if one is broken, like there was one that had like glass smashed in.
Yeah.
It was still up there. But there's also 4 other working cameras around it. I'm like, I need to just take it down.
It's a surveillance state.
Especially in the airport, where there was cameras literally everywhere. Because I was looking for it. And I was like, all right, there's one there. There's like, oh, there's 5, like, like the little cup ones that are stuck to the ceiling, especially by the passport thing where you're walking in. They would just be like 5 next to each other. And I'm like, why do you need that many there? Like, there's nothing that's not being covered, probably. They had the fashion there is like kind of funny. It's like all over the spectrum, kind of how I guess New York would be. It doesn't seem like, I didn't know brands, but it didn't seem like there was any type of consistent brands or like brand loyalty and stuff.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because they develop a lot of stuff there. Like a lot of like company stuffs are made in China and shipped out, so they probably have all type of silhouettes and different whatever. But the funniest thing is like their puffer jackets or puff jackets or like winter coats, which a lot of them just would have just random English words on them.
Oh, really? Well, actually, I've seen that on like TikTok and whatnot, like kind of how we have Forever 21 over here, and it'll just have like random sayings. Like,
random, like that's funny. Yeah, random sayings.
Yeah, that's how it is out there.
It's kind of, but not even in the same way. Like so, like Forever 21 and stuff. Like those shirts will have sayings that mean something or make sense.
Yeah.
It'll just be like random English words. So one of them was nerdy, and that was a popular one because there's a lot of nerdy in the same like branding
Really?
letters, like in a lot of places, or like a lot of people. One person, the back of their jacket said U.S. Air Force, not official U.S. Air Force
Yeah.
anything. It's just a puffer jacket, right? And just like heat printed on. It just says
Yeah.
U.S. Air Force, not in the correct font, whatever. I read it and I was like, wait, U.S. Air Force?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
especially like knowing the relationship with China in the States. There's one that said, "Oh!" exclamation point, good on his shirt. Just
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right.
Niggas be winging designs out there.
And then my favorite, which I posted to my story, was Mr. Enjoy the Money.
I don't think I saw that one.
So this
Same.
guy in a white, you didn't see it? Is this Chinese guy, obviously, and it's the back of his white jacket in green letters says Mr. Enjoy the DA money. Mr. Enjoy the money. I was like, me and Gabe were dying about that for the longest time. Yeah, it said no guns, streets were clean, had people cleaning them, it was smaller, architecture smaller there. Oh, they had like lights and stuff decorating their temples and like prominent buildings, so they like light up, like they're lit during the night, which I thought was cool too. And just like the reverence for like their public spaces and areas,
Yeah.
everything's super clean, everything's well thought out. It could fit a ton of people, which is like, all right, they know they have a ton of people here.
Yeah.
We didn't really experience traffic ever. Oh, and they also, on the airlines, like internationally, they don't do the safety like demonstration.
Oh, really?
Like they'll have like a video or something kind of explaining it. And they're like, oh, the car's in the back of it. Just read it.
Yeah.
But they don't have people like, you know, in America, they have like, here, this is how you put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
And then blow into this thing. They don't have that. I think I noticed them do it in the United States, but when they were in Qatar and then in China, when we were in China on those airlines, they didn't do that either.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for the trip.
All right, bet. No, I'm glad y'all had a good time out in China. I'm glad you made it back safely.
China.
But we probably like hour 15 in.
Yeah, I just realized I didn't realize I was talking
we
for
deep,
that long.
We deep in.
An hour. It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
So we definitely gonna skip random topics. Go.
What else did we have? Did you put more?
Yeah, I mean we had a lot, but we gonna
that's
skip
so
past it
cute.
all. Get it off your chest.
Hopefully they wanted to know about China.
Yeah, I'll actually put this in the beginning. So if you listening, AJ gonna be what time we at?
It's 1:20, but we were rolling for a little bit before.
Okay, so I'll just know to skip to around 1:20. But if you listening, AJ gonna talk about his China trip. So if you want to skip ahead just a little bit, if you don't care about China, I mean it's a good story, so definitely listen. But if not, skip to 1:20. I mean we're skipping over random topics, but yeah.
And anyone who's listened, just shoot your messages in the chat.
Yes.
If you have any questions or whatever, let me know.
But
Oh, I didn't even say that part. My bad.
no, you good?
So, with the Alipay thing, my cards didn't work there, and I would try I would try to download it a bunch of times and or put them up there and download WeChat a bunch of times. For whatever reason, it took like till the last day for my WeChat and WeChat Pay to work. But like while we're on the way out, but yeah. So each day Gabe was paying for everything, and I would just like Zelle him or whatever at the end of the day. And then so he would play this game where he'd be like, all right, how much do you think we spent? And the first day I was like, oh, I probably owe you like 100 or something. Just thinking about like, so like and he was paying for everything. So Ubers, all the food, anything we needed to pay for, like entrance fees and stuff. And I was like, I was probably like 100, maybe like 125. It was $60.
Really?
So like that. So both times that we ate, and it wasn't like we were saving money and eating. We got a bunch of food. We wanted to try a bunch of things. Ubers to the wall and back. This was the first day, yeah. So Uber to the wall and back. The Uber trip there is like an hour.
Yeah.
there and back, and then it Ubers into the city, and then or into the area you wanted to go into, and back out to the hotel, and those were each like 20 minutes. So imagine like you would pay $60 for an hour Uber here, minimum.
Yeah.
Like probably more.
Pay more than that.
Yeah,
and
it's more.
$60 is what between the both of us what we spent the entire time. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
wild.
stupid cheap. Yeah. So you could if you could work remote and just live over there, or like have to pay that price, or if maybe I think there's other like better areas too, like in South China, that would be more like we would enjoy living there more, but just yeah, everything's super cheap there. Food is cheap, and it wasn't like it was like bad food or like fast food. It was like restaurants, not like you're sitting down. Yeah.
Got you.
All right, we can move on though. Yeah.
All right, bet. Phil, did you have a question of the week?
I did not.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Get off your chest. Somebody put people that don't help themselves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That was me. I just be frustrated because I'd be trying to help people and stuff, and I don't know, man. Sometimes you be trying to help a person, you give them good advice, and then they don't do it, but then they complain.
What was the situation, or do you not want to mention?
I don't want to. It's just a multiple. It's just like
Okay.
It's not just one person. It's just like a magnitude of situations. Because it's just like I've been helping like a bunch of people out, or trying to help a bunch of people out, and something will happen, and I'm like, oh, you should do this, so you can get better in this area.
Yeah.
But then they don't do it. But then something will happen, and then they'll feel bad and complain about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit, it's never going to change. And you shouldn't feel bad about it because you could have changed it.
Yeah.
So I think that was like my bigger, I had like a revelation because I'm like a relationship person. And I was just like.
Oh, so you was giving relationship advice.
No, I'm saying a relationship person in the sense of like.
With people, just
with
generation.
people.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got
I'm
you,
just
got
like a
you.
relationship person.
Yeah.
And it was just like I had a revelation where it's like I just can't help people that don't want to help themselves.
Okay.
And it kind of hurt my feelings because I like helping people. Like
Yeah.
No, I feel you because I'm the same way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was it. I was just
Okay.
like, oh man, I hate when people don't really help themselves. Because for me, in life, I'm always trying to like do better.
Yeah.
And like right my wrongs. If I'm like toxic in areas, I'm trying to like unlearn bad behaviors and shit like that. If I don't do something well, I try to like
challenge that
and change my processes on becoming more efficient or learning to do it well, so I can't be like, oh yeah. So
Yeah. Okay. Nah, I hear you on that, bro.
so it's an observation I had this week.
That's why
kinda hit
Zach
me
be on
full
D&D.
circle.
100%, bro. For me, it's just watching sports with. I could only watch sports with like y'all, and then like Justin and his dad if it's a Canes game. Like outside of that, I do not ever want to watch sports, like major sporting events, with like
Random people.
yeah people outside of the ones that I just mentioned. So. I mean, this isn't the only situation, but the most
Super Bowl?
recent one was the Super Bowl. Yeah. Watch it with my mentee and his homies, which I mean he's cool, like he ain't really saying nothing, but it's just, and I'm not shitting on him.
Y'all look lit,
Sounds
low
like
key.
you
I
might
was low key mad you ain't invite me.
No, the games were dope, but at the same time, I like if I'm watching the Super Bowl, I want to watch the Super Bowl. I don't want to play drinking games and whatnot. But the drinking games were dope, so shout out to him. But it's just like I hate, even if I'm at a sporting event, bro, I hate hearing dumbass comments. Like people that watch sports are just dumb as fuck, bro. So for example, the halftime show, and you probably seen it on Twitter or social media, like every single person that popped up during Usher's halftime show, people was yelling out wrong celebrity. So when Will.i.am came out, everyone was like, "Oh my God, CeeLo Green!" Right away, I knew that wasn't. I knew it. Or sorry,
Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, who would I say?
CeeLo.
CeeLo
No,
Green.
but I said
No,
something.
you said Will.i.am.
Okay,
Because he
so
did come out.
Will.i.am, people thought that was Kanye, and I was like,
That's
"That's
insane.
Will.i.am."
He looks nothing like Kanye.
When JD came out, they thought it was CeeLo, and when nobody said it, but I did see people tweeting about it, and Tatiana thought that the artist was Northwest.
I was like, who the
What?
fuck is that? I knew it was an artist, but I didn't know it was her.
No, I knew right away that it was her.
Because I don't watch her videos. I don't know what she looks like. But
And
I'm like, I know
mean,
it's an artist.
When she first came out,
Yeah, her was hidden for a while.
Yeah, she was hidden for the longest time. So a lot of people don't know what she looks like, but it also clearly was not Northwest. So
Northwest is 10 years old.
Yeah. No, I do agree
Exactly.
with you on that point. it's hard to watch games with like in new spaces,
Yeah.
in new crowds.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer, like, if the Eagles ever go back, I just watch it at home like I did last year when the Eagles went.
exactly.
I'm watching it at home, turning my TV up because I don't want to hear y'all talk over. I actually want to watch the commentary. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so stop inviting me to watch sporting events with y'all unless it's
No
the
more
people
Super Bowl
sitting
parties.
here with me and Luke. Best thing we've seen. Y'all got anything?
Ooh, shit, no, not this week. My week's been.
Yeah, I mean, I already went
stressed.
through the China trip, so you
Yeah.
just-
NCAA 25, they came out with like a little teaser. It's been almost 10 years since we've had the last NCAA football game. So happy that's coming out. And then in May, I think they're announcing or putting out a more in-depth trailer. So excited for that. Music, Vultures. We discussed it
Oh yeah, I have
last
some stuff
pod.
to feedback to Phil, or just in general.
But
Or, like,
before
what my
you
thoughts,
even
yeah.
go, AJ, I definitely have to recant my statements, some of my statements from the last pod. This album has definitely grown on me. I don't share the same sentiment that I did 7 days ago, or
course you
whenever we recorded. I'm still not gonna say that the album moves me the way that some of the other Kanye albums move me, but this album is very good, and
This
I've
is
had it
such
on
a good
repeat
album.
since then.
It's such a good album.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful, yeah.
And I thought it was good when I first heard it, but like a lot more songs have grown on me because I've been listening into it in the car.
Yeah.
But like
That's part of it.
favorite songs from my original breakdown are probably still my favorite songs.
Yeah.
So Problematic, King, God
Which one
Forget,
is
God Forgive.
Okay.
Do It. I like Do It a lot. I
Yeah,
like Fuck
I mean,
Some. Bro, it just
Yeah.
it's the production. This is what separates. This is why I can never put Drake above Kanye. Because Kanye production separates him from Drake. Like Kanye is able to put feelings in the songs that Drake can't tap into.
I mean, you had me up until that point. I get what you're saying.
You can evoke feelings. I
He
think
can
is what
evoke
meant,
feelings
yeah.
better than Drake can.
Not put feelings in. 'cause
Yeah.
Or evoke a
But
feeling.
it's
emotions,
different.
yeah.
But Kanye can do it with the production, like you said.
Right.
That's
the
my
music.
point, though.
Drake can do it with because I mean he's a fucking
With the content lyrics,
R&B
yeah.
singer / rapper at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a different. The way
It's-
he does it is different.
I don't know, bro. I don't think it's to the same level because
I think Kanye does a little bit of what Drake does too, in a different way.
Yeah.
But like he has so many lines that are quoted all the time. You know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Kanye will make a sound that just sounds heavenly, bro.
Yeah.
I can't listen to a Drake. There's not many Drake tracks I get where I'm
Yeah.
like,
No, I agree.
this shit is heavenly. It just makes you feel
Yeah.
beautiful.
There's nothing that I feel like we can listen to by Drake that would give us like goosebumps. Whereas like
That's my
first
point.
time I heard Ultralight Beams, bro.
Shit made you float.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why Drake could never be bigger than Kanye for me.
Yeah.
And so when I think of their projects, and I'm like, oh, even when I went back to Drake's project, because you know I compare them because they beefing or whatever.
Yeah.
Even when I went back to Drake's project the second time or third time, I'm like, okay, it got better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little critical, and I'm like, okay, it's pretty good, but I still turned that shit off.
Yeah.
I haven't turned off Kanye shit.
Yeah. Drake stuff is like, it's a lot of music is like sounds, right?
Mhm.
Or people are like, oh, that sounds good together.
Mhm.
But like when Kanye makes something, especially like this, it's like music.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this is music. Like
Mhm.
It's like a symphony.
Yeah.
Bro, I hate you. I hate you.
Is that what you was about to say?
You can read it. What's the first note under music?
Phil called it cinematic, but it's symphonies.
Yeah,
Kanye
it's literally,
sounds like- yeah,
it's literally a symphony. It's like
Yeah.
if you listen to what's the second track it's called?
Keys or something like that.
Keys to My Life.
Keys to My
Yeah.
Life. Yeah.
It every sound has a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
or it feels like it does, and it's not the same beat on repeat the entire time.
Yeah.
like he brings elements in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's conducting. Is like, all right. Like if you just imagine him conducting, like, all right, you start now and you stop, and it's kind of insane.
Yeah.
And
And the thing is, that's you call it, is some of it is cinematic, or some of them I would consider more cinematic than others, but
It
a
feels
lot
more
of it
grand.
is very like it's like a modern symphony.
Yeah.
Like how people would do these things with and ironically you sent the thing with Justin Bieber doing it kind of, but when he's in there making music, it's like he's composing a symphony with like electronically or modernly.
Yeah.
Is what I would compare it to.
Yeah, and I also think when he goes through shit, you get the best yeah. So it's like you can feel the pain in certain songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure. Yeah.
And that's what I resonate like with any artist. I resonate with pain the most.
Yeah.
So it's
I think everyone knows pain. It's one of the easier things to
recognize.
like people can to connect with too.
Yeah.
Like people can connect with pain more than they can connect with happiness because they're like you with some certain like a celebrity's happiness, you're like, all right, well that guy's a millionaire. We don't have the same problems, or not. We don't have the same problems, but just like even if I'm happy, I'm not experiencing that happy or whatever.
Pain is how fucking Taylor Swift, the White Devil, got to the top of the game. Just making music about pain. Yeah.
So people can identify with problems where it's like, oh, okay, you feel that also, or like I know what that feeling is like. I know what being broken up with, or like the feeling of or just like feeling of like wanting someone back, or just like the things he's talking about in it.
Yeah.
Or like him being nervous about his daughter or whatever, and like mentioning that in a song.
But that's another difference between him and Drake. When Kanye speaks about pain, it's
not superficial.
It's not superficial. When Drake speaks about pain, bro, it's sitting in a mansion, 8,000 acres, feeling miserable, but I can. And you're like, all right, cool, nigga, sad. When nigga Kanye speak about pain, you be like, damn, I felt that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm miserable too. My heart broke too. Fuck.
Yeah.
That nigga's just like, I want you back. You miss me.
But yeah, his ear for sound and like how he
if you said it too, the samples and stuff too.
Yeah,
like how you can hear something and I'm like, yo, how did
if he's not sampling something, like the one song where he has the fucking like Milan fans chanting, where he's just like, I'm gonna use this in a song, like, bro, what? Like, is that my favorite song? No, but just the thought for him to do that. And then the one sample where he had on Northwest song, I didn't, obviously it's a sample, but he
pulled it off
took
social.
that. Yeah, he took that from fucking cheerleaders. Ultralight Beam, that's like a fucking TikTok or Vine or some shit.
I'm waiting till they take that chant and chop that shit up and put it on like an EDM mix.
Yeah.
That shit's gonna go either that or like a Spanish song. I can see them.
It can get annoying though soon. Wait, which one?
Oh,
that one. Yeah.
That part.
What I was
and put that shit on like some like Despacitos or some shit, like type song,
Despacito.
or not Despacitos, but the new one, the one at the Heat games.
Pepas.
Pepas,
yeah.
Bro, that shit.
You know what I was thinking the other day? I was a little bit sober, but whether it's Kanye's who should do it, but if a artist made an album where each song like sampled the previous song. Like, that would be so fire. Like, Kanye's the only one that I think is, like, genius enough to do it where the album wouldn't be, like, corny or stupid or, like, repetitive. But, like, if he came with the first song and then just every song after that and just, like, sampled the previous song, that would be fire. Kanye, if you're listening to this.
Well, shit, he does it all over his album. He literally samples himself.
Damn
near every track.
In this album he did that.
Yeah, there were like 2 different songs that he did it.
Yeah.
It was
fucking
Bound
ridiculous.
To. Oh, actually, it was 3 songs, I think.
Yeah.
It was Bound To, that song, and then there was another song where he like sampled a beat for like a second. But nah, Kanye, bro, that nigga is a genius.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Just need to stop wilding out.
Even in Back to Me, when he takes the part that Ty Dolla $ign sings and then makes it almost inaudible and adds in as a part of an element to the beat. I was like, that's my favorite part. I was like, because that's the movie everyone does. Everyone does. You can't sing like him or know the most of the time you don't know the words word for word.
Yeah.
And he remixed Back That Ass Up better than Drake did.
Yeah. That is YG on the song, right? I haven't looked to see who is featured.
That's YG.
And that's the song that you said
Nipsey sampled
in the beginning.
Yeah, he sampled. That's Nipsey in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's like my second favorite song. Yeah, Do It. That's
bro,
my
Do It so
favorite.
fire.
Yeah,
so you said you didn't like the first half as much, But like,
I think the first half's better.
Yeah,
bro.
I
the
thought
same
that
thing,
I
too.
think the second half is so much better. And
So
that,
it
mind
goes-
you,
I don't.
all
Paid
the
is
songs
okay.
you like are in the second half, but I think the first half is still better.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So I like Stars is a good opening.
I like
Keys
Stars.
to My Life is amazing.
I like Keys to My Life.
Paid is okay.
I like Paid.
Yeah, Paid's good, but I like out of the first 5, it's probably my least favorite.
Okay.
The chorus is just super catchy to me.
Yeah, and Paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Friday, get paid thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely hear that
Mhm.
that being played the most out of
Yeah.
other ones, especially like in the club, or whatever.
More so than
Bro,
Do It or
Talking-
Carnival?
Bro, talking
You just talking. You don't want no problems. You just
Northwest,
talking.
bro. She needs to be double XL freshman of the year. Like I need to hear a cipher from her.
bestie,
Miss Westie.
She had one of the hardest, like
Yeah.
low key hardest verses
Yeah.
on the album,
And it's
She's-
it's funny to me that the Drake Kanye beef kind of continues because now it's Adonis
Versus
and Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, Northwest has a little head start,
Yeah.
but
And also
but
shout
she-
out to North being a little hooper. You seen her TikToks of her dribbling the basketball?
Oh no, I didn't.
Bro,
It's
she
like
kinda
she's not
nice.
even looking at the ball.
Yeah, she kind of nice.
I gotta see that. That's funny.
Yeah, no, like,
But her presence on that song, like she's 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like she sounded like she was like she sounded like 15 at least.
Mhm.
Just like her presence and confidence, and like how she like sang it and came across. I'm like, yo, that's lit.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like the first
she
half
is
is
lit.
cool, but I felt like after Carnivals, you got
Back to Me is lit.
the
Back
feeling.
to Me is
Me
my favorite song.
Yeah, same. It's
Back to Me, which one?
Is-
Big beautiful. I can't say that shit, bro.
I remember.
And apparently that's from a movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
What movie?
I actually have it on my.
I
Safari.
seen one of my homies tweeting
Big
about
titty
it the
nigga
other-
women just to fall out the sky, you know.
Yeah, bro. I fucking
Don't follow.
Don't just fall out the sky, you know.
Yeah, I think it's called
Beautiful
just
big
Don't
titty
Fall Out
women
the
just
Sky. Or no, Dogma. I think it's called Dogma.
Yeah, Dogma. That's
Yeah.
what it's from.
Beautiful big titty naked women just don't fall out the sky. You know?
That shit's a
Yeah,
tongue twister.
I don't know, bro. It's just
That's
after
that's
Carnival, I
you-
just felt like that's the yay, like towards the end,
Oh,
like
so you like Carnival?
I like Carnival.
oh, I
too,
like
yeah.
Carnival a lot. yeah.
I don't dislike it, but it doesn't seem like a song that you would like, to be honest.
No, I love Carnival
Yeah.
because of the sampling. It's
Yeah.
it's like an anthem. It reminds me of
Also,
like
you
the
said it.
70s.
You said second half after Carnival. It's only four.
I mean, well,
5
technically,
songs.
fuck some. Well, it's 16, so 8 Paperwork is the second half. Will be the start. So I like Paperwork. I like Fuck Some. I like Vultures. I like
Yeah.
Carnival.
I like all the songs.
All of my favorite songs are in the second half.
I like all the songs, but if I had to rank it, like the first 5 minus Paid, like Paid is good, I like it, but the first 5 minus Paid are lit.
Oh, Burn, I like a lot. Burn sounds like a song that should have been on like one of the first 3 Kanye albums, like Late Registration, College Dropout,
Yeah.
all that. Burn is like old Ye. And same thing I feel like with Problematic. Like those 2 songs I feel like are the old Ye.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's why I like the second half better because
After
all of my
Vultures is very lit,
favorite
too.
songs are in
Yeah.
the second half. And mind you, I love Stars. I like Keys to My Life. I like Paid. But when
Yeah.
you're talking about like if I had to take 5 songs off this album that I can just hear on
You can
loop,
pick 5. I can't
Yeah,
even pick 5.
easy.
I could probably pick 2.
it would be Problematic, Beg Forgiveness,
Oh, wait.
King.
What 5 are you pick? I thought you said 5 songs to take off the album.
No,
I'm saying
no,
if I
he's
could take
saying
5 songs
his
to take
top
on the
5.
album just to play.
They-
in
yeah,
the-
if you-
okay.
yeah.
My bad.
they were all be in the second half.
Got you.
Because it would be Problematic, King, Beg for Forgiveness. I lied. Do It was in the first half. And then probably this one's tough. It might be Burn or Carnival.
So Back
Really?
to Me's
You
not
said
in your
Vul-
top 5?
Vultures was in your top 5 too, that first.
I changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vultures changed for me. Vultures is in my top 5 because it came on. It's Chicago, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just felt nostalgic. So the more I listened to it, Vultures kind of slid for me, and Carnival kind of rose up. But I also like Burn and Fuck Something has been doing something to me too. Fuck some hit when this
Yeah.
with the speakers, bro. Fuck some slap.
Yeah.
Carnival, that's another note I had. Carnival needed to be louder. Like
You
it's
think?
not as loud as It's not as loud as the rest of the songs.
There is one song where a lot is going on. It might have been Paperwork. No, it's not Paperwork. I forget, but even though so much is going on, I'm like, this is still amazing.
Yeah, same.
Like so much is happening in the song. I'm gonna figure it out.
But yeah, Carnival is very lit, but I need it to be louder. Like I need speakers that go louder, but my car speakers go pretty loud, and I still am like, yo, it needs to be, like I need to hear this on the biggest speakers.
Oh, it's Hood
possible.
Rat. Hood Rat's the song. So much is happening in that song, like sonically.
I'm not. Hood Rat's like one of the leaser ones.
Really?
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Hood
yeah.
Rat
I'm not
don't do
saying
it
I
for me.
love it, but I'm still like, this song is still
If you get
great.
past the first like Hood Rat on repeat, like the first minute of it or whatever it is, then the song gets better after that.
Yeah.
But the repetitive of it is like, all right, but I still like it. But I'm still like, all right,
But yeah, no. Beg for Forgiveness and Problematics talks to my soul.
Well, outside the album, Ye, he dropped his website, Yeezy.com.
I copped some merch.
Yeah, he announced it around the Super Bowl, and that shit did numbers.
Did y'all cop merch?
Yeah, so on the website, everything is $20.
For the most part.
I wonder how much supply he had too.
What's not 20?
No, his vinyl is I think 30 or 40,
Still
and
cheap.
there's some other stuff that's like a little bit over 20. Most all the apparel is $20.
Yeah, so hopefully we all get the shit that we actually ordered. But
I bet we all ordered the same shirt.
Which one did you get?
I got the Vulture short sleeve with the one.
Oh yeah, that's what
and the all black Vulture shirt.
Yeah, I just got the one with the one on the back. I did like the white long sleeve shirt. Initially, I was like, I don't want to order it, but just now, right before y'all came, I was showing Tatiana. I'm like, I really wish I ordered it. I still can, but I've been spending way too money.
I just ordered two. I ordered the long sleeve all black Vultures. And then the black one with the one on the back.
I do wish the women's apparel would have been better because the women's shit was kind of butt, but the guys shit was obviously.
Did you order anything?
Yeah.
Any merch? What you get?
Yeah.
I got the pods just because they were $20.
I thought about getting them too, but I was like, what I'm gonna do with these?
I don't think the pods are on there anymore. And shout out to Ye.
They should be.
I checked earlier; they weren't on there.
Really?
But shout out to Ye because people initially bought the pods for $200. And he said, hey, if y'all bought this for $200, you gonna get the rest of your money back. Because now that they on there for $20.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what I would wear the pods for. So I was like, I'm gonna look goofy in these shits.
The car's full.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm gonna look goofy in these shits. So let me just stick to the tees. And I can just throw them on my Chelseas.
Hopefully they fit you, AJ, because they only came in, 3 sizes, same as the shirts, 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I was like, I bought it just cause.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like stuff's not gonna fit right.
Yeah.
His size chart's so weird.
The people everyone on TikTok I've seen that have bought them, they're like, yeah, this does not fit at all. So hopefully they fit you, bro. Or you could always flip them.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why he
probably like $20.
Yeah, because his more sizes fit all. You have to buy less SKUs, or not SKUs, but less like variety.
Yeah. But outside of that as well, I know he's been having some issues with the streaming platforms. They announced yesterday that it was being taken off. I don't know if y'all had any issues.
It's still on there. So the only
I downloaded it too.
Only issues I have is like a song will not be on it, and so I'll have
that didn't happen to me.
Delete it and re-download it. So like earlier, Problematic wasn't on it, so I deleted it, re-downloaded it.
Also, what is the album art? Because for the longest, mine was still the white face mask.
No, it's blackface.
Okay, mine just switched last night to the blackface.
Yeah, he changed it on the first day because I think he probably got like a what do you call it, trademark for the Michael Myers? Yeah, cease and desist type shit.
Yeah. So yeah. Off of Kanye, someone else put some other music on here, which just reading the title, it sounds like something I'd like. But
put it on there, Phil?
It was Electrowave, I think it was called.
Oh, no.
I say you.
That's a Kid Cudi song. My bad. I put that
on. Oh, okay.
So, you guys know the song, you know the guy that does the dance and he claps and the dog's biting his ankle?
Yeah. He looks like G Herbo.
Yeah. You seen those or no?
You've definitely seen the video. He looks exactly
there's no
like
way
G
Kid
Herbo.
Cudi didn't sample that song.
Really?
Like, have you heard it, like, side by side?
It was on the most recent album.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the dude and
then
you pull
I
up.
heard it, but
you pull up him.
I didn't.
I've been meaning to say that. Obviously, it came out a long time ago.
Electrowave Baby is the name of the song. Oh, it does kind of sound like that.
I want to find this song though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to find this song now. I wish I had it faster.
I'm sure I could find it on TikTok. I bet if you type in G Herbo, that shit pops up, bro.
Oh, I'm on IG.
Oh yeah, right away found it, bro.
Wait, wow.
You've never seen those videos?
I don't got TikTok.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm
funny,
pretty
though.
sure AJ sent them on.
Play the
Instagram,
music for
bro.
the people. There's no way that's not even sample that for Electrowave.
So that's the TikTok, and then this is the song.
Oh, facts.
Yeah. Me noticing that right away, I was dying laughing
Yeah.
for the longest time, and I just hadn't told y'all. But yeah.
Set the scene.
All right, streaming.
Wait, have you Phil? Did you ever listen to Ganger? V's album?
No, that is.
He's a Detroit rapper. What's his name's pretty good too, Babyface Ray. But
I don't really like Babyface, right?
you know, so I only
Only
don't
nigga I
like-
like out Detroit is Bodie.
I don't like most of his stuff, but I like some of his stuff. Babyface Ray's. But V's is actually pretty good. He kind of reminds me of what if Kodak grew up in Detroit, what he would have been, because it's a different
Yeah.
he sound like he doesn't sound like Kodak does. But
Yeah.
the variety of like stuff that he puts out, how he can rap on it, kind of sound good on any kind of beat, it's like that, and it's not really like great
Send it in
content,
Discord. I'll
but
check it
yeah.
out.
But okay, man, I'll send it to you.
Cause the only nigga I fuck without the D is Bodie. And you know M and Sean.
Yeah.
The throwback
And
niggas. But the
Sean
new- Oh, I also
Sean
fuck with T Grizzly new album was straight too.
Yeah.
Yeah, T Grizzly shit was straight.
T Grizzly. Streaming. AJ, you put Griselda? Or
Yeah, I
Phil?
put Griselda back on. You finished it?
Yeah, I finished. We brought it up last
Wait,
part.
Phil, you finished it or
I
not?
haven't started
Oh,
yet.
sorry.
Bro,
yes,
you
I was-
lacking.
I was trying to, yeah, it was dope. It was lit.
Super
And yeah,
lit.
yeah, and
And
I
Sophia
had a
Sofia
list.
Vergara,
She
she's
can act. She's always
yeah.
been able to act. But I was
Maybe she'll
pissed
prove
'cause
me
I
wrong.
What do you mean? In what has she not acted well?
I've never saw her act in a movie, and I'm like, damn, she killed that shit. Other than being fine in Spanish with an accent. Like,
But at the
But
same time,
the
have
thing
you
is,
said she did a
what
bad
acting,
job?
What acting is
no, I corrected it. Remember,
Okay.
I was like,
good acting is to not be able to tell someone's acting,
Mhm.
and you can't tell she's acting.
yeah, but also good acting is like, you can watch a movie and be like, damn, they killed. Like, you can acknowledge they killed it. So
Yeah.
for me, I never seen a standout performance from her where I didn't think she was just typecast to be fine with an accent.
Yeah,
So I wasn't saying that she can't act.
That's like saying Marty Bird. What's Marty Bird's new name? He always is the same character in
Yeah.
damn near everything, but he's lit, and you always believe him in his character.
Mm.
With Sophia, you always believe her. She doesn't. It's not. I'm not saying she has. She showed that she has range with this one, but she hasn't really had to have range because the role she's getting is like, all right, we want you to. And the other thing with her is that one, she has such a thick accent
Mhm.
that she can't do, not that she can't do much else, but like she's not gonna be like she's not gonna be the president or like the first lady.
But I did correct myself. I was saying that because she gets typecasted in that way, that's only how I see her. So I don't know her to have the range that a Griselda character would need.
Yeah.
So I did correct myself, and I said she's not a bad actress.
Well, you were saying that, like Modern Family, she's like whatever, but she
I just like she's-
absolutely kills it in Modern Family.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't watch
she's actually like genuinely a funny person too.
Yeah.
So
I did hear some other people say that they wish that this would have been longer. I mean, I don't know Griselda's full story. I've always heard of her, and I knew
Yeah.
she was the queen pin of the code game. But I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if this was longer or it came out with a season 2. But I mean, they already killed her off, so there can't be a season 2. So
yeah, it told the whole story.
yeah,
It's kind of like the Jeffrey Dahmer. one.
yeah.
But yeah, it told the whole story. They might have been able to do it in 2 extra episodes, but I still feel like they
Mhm.
told the whole story. It's not like I don't feel like we feel like we're missing out on anything,
Yeah.
right? But like you said, we're both not as close to that
Yeah.
to that story anyway.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I do need to check that out, but that's Donald Glover and the girl from Pen 15.
Yeah.
What's
It's
her name?
actually, I forget. I think it might Maya.
Oh, that's the.
Her name's Maya.
Well,
I
in the
forget her last
show,
name.
is that her name in real
Yeah,
life
she
too?
plays herself.
Oh,
Like
okay. Yeah.
both those girls are playing
Yeah.
themselves. When
Yeah.
they're growing up.
What do you
I
call
knew
that?
you were-
That's a re something to re.
A reboot,
Yeah.
remake. Yeah.
Yeah, so
'cause-
it's a remake, but it's a series actually.
Mhm.
Um,
On Prime, right?
yeah, it's on Prime. The movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith Mr. and Mrs. Smith originally was a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
With
this one
Brad
there,
Pitt
yeah.
and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. And this one is a series, but it's pretty good. And for like in terms of like spy movies and stuff, or I guess, yeah, Mrs. and Mrs. Smith were like spies or like secret agents and stuff. It's a different take on it and a kind of a more realistic one, or it just feels more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been good also. It's just not your same cookie cutter one. So I think you'd like it, enjoy it, Phil. You can definitely tell that Donald Glover had a hand in like the writing of it and stuff too, just like with the jokes and situations and stuff that is put in there. It kind of feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like what was in Season Sorry Show?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I forget
it
what
kind of
is.
feels like that.
I was gonna say start with an M, but that's a lie.
Masters of None.
Yeah, Masters of
Yes,
None.
I was right. Oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm lit.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the way it's shot and the I guess cinematography of it, but just like the sound and stuff is kind of similar to Masters of None.
Mm-hmm. Vince Staples show. I've been meaning to. I mean, it just came out.
I haven't
but-
seen it.
It's
either.
good. I'm 2 episodes in. It's like Atlanta, but
Okay.
in a Vince. If you watch Vince Staples interviews and you kind of know
Yeah, that
like
nigga's hilarious.
his videos and stuff,
Yeah,
it's kind of very like
it's
that.
like his thought process.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's like it's
But
like in Atlanta.
Does he just like Atlanta? But does he do like street interviews and stuff? I thought I saw that.
The 2 episodes I seen, the first one was about him going to jail. The second one was about him trying to get a business deal, and it was just funny as fuck.
And it's
do
like-
the
it's like Atlanta, you
episodes tie into each other, or they're all different?
Nah, I think they stand alone.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's more so like his experience that he's putting on camera and making it
into not a skit, but like a short film kind of.
yes, and kind of have like humor, but it also like some real shit in there.
Yeah.
And then this is not on the list. Abbott's back, and
Yes, I've been meaning to check that out.
oh, it's so good.
Bro, there's so much shit out right now.
Abbott's back, and Jalen Hurts is on the first episode.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's fire.
And then tell us about. Oh, actually, I'm probably seeing Bob Marley soon, but you enjoyed it.
I loved One Love.
Yeah, don't. Well, you can't spoil it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. No, I'm just saying.
He dies.
It's a biopic, so you can't. Spoil
It's not a biopic.
Wait,
That's the
does he die?
misconception. So,
Oh, okay.
like, I've heard mixed reviews because people think it's a biopic. It's not a
I
biopic.
mean, you said it was a biopic last episode.
I thought it was a biopic until I saw it, and then I watched the interview of the actor on Breakfast Club. It's pretty much, and this is not gonna ruin it. It's a love story, and it segments around a certain period in Bob Marley's life.
Gotcha.
And so they still reference back to his childhood and
So
how
they
they
can have
got to
more
that
movies,
point.
basically.
Pretty much. It's
Okay.
a love story between him and Rita Marley.
Okay.
And how
One Love. Aha, I get
and
it.
how an event in Jamaica affected a certain album.
Got you.
Yeah. Which is I like that because I've seen every Bob Marley documentary.
So you didn't need something that would just like reiterated everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
That's
also
cool to
don't want
see.
them to ruin it because the last Marley documentary they did, which was Marley, which they used like all his uncut footage. That's the best documentary
Oh, I
I've
thought
ever
you were
seen.
gonna
about
say that
Marley.
was bad. I was about
No,
to smack
that's
the shit out of you.
no. I'm saying that's the best one.
Yeah.
So because I feel like that
didn't want
is the
another
best
version?
one, you can't beat that with a biopic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I like the spin on it, and I
Yeah.
think the acting was good. They speak in patois like a lot of the film, and so
Bro, every time I see that actor, I think of Kelvin from FAU.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I play on the basketball.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
funny.
that's funny. In our
funny.
our group chat with
the Hoopers.
well, yeah, people that played at FAU. They're laughing about that
Really?
too. And the thing is, he's like him, and also he kind of looks like J. Cole a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that guy, also the actor. So when he first got to FAU, J. Cole was like a little bit popular, and he
Mhm.
had a similar cut to Kelvin at the time.
Yeah.
So everyone would like, well, look,
Yeah.
it's J. Cole or whatever, right? Kelvin like moves back home west, starts doing music and grows his hair out, grows
Yeah.
dreads. All of a sudden now, now J. Cole has dreads. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, and people are still like, oh, J.
Yeah.
Cole. So I'm like, yo, he's messing with you, bro.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, that's what he's up to now.
Highly recommend.
And
It's about an
then-
hour and 45 too, so it's an easy
not
watch.
Not bad. And then last but not least, me and AJ and Tatiana show, Love is Blind is a bike.
Wait, it's back?
Yeah.
Like this episodes?
Yeah.
Oh.
I only watched the first episode this morning
All right, bet. I have
on
to
my way
catch
to
up
work.
so I can come
Actually, I don't even think I finished the first episode, but so far it's already a little bit of drama. So
Little juice.
I think this season might be lit. But yeah, Love is Blind. Hopefully for sure by next episode I'll have a in-depth review, and AJ I'm sure will too. And then we'll try to get Tati on. But yeah, that's all I got for streaming for now. And then sports. I know this has been a long episode, so don't want to spend too much time on it. But we passed the Super Bowl. Shout out the Chiefs and Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, all them bitch ass niggas.
Fuck the Niners.
But yeah, they won. Fuck the Niners. Also want to send thoughts and prayers, if that's what you do, to the victims in the parade massacre. Well, I'm not gonna call it a massacre.
It wasn't
but
massacre, it was a
yeah,
mass
shooting.
shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
shooting.
only one. I think it was only one person died, right?
I think two.
Or did it go up?
I think it was more than one.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a lot. But one is still one too many.
Yeah, for a fucking Super Bowl parade.
This whole episode we've been watching the All-Star game. So earlier we had the Celeb All-Star game, and right now it's Rising Stars just finished. So Team Jalen Rose won. Anything y'all looking forward to this All-Star game? I mean, it don't hit like it used to.
I don't really care
but
for All-Star Weekend, to be honest with you.
You never have, or just as of late?
I mean, I watched the game on Sunday,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Like, that's it. Everything else in between, I haven't even watched the 3-pointer
Yeah.
dunk contest, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, dunk competition used to be dope. 3-point contest.
Last year's wasn't bad though. Mac McClung
Yeah, I
definitely
didn't watch.
brought it back.
And I said, remember the name, Mac McClung.
You did.
He was just playing in on one of the
Rising
teams.
Stars, yeah.
Yeah, on Def Left Shrimp's team. But also, while we on basketball, shout out to Caitlin Clark setting the NCAA record on the women's side for most points ever. And in that game, she scored what, 49?
Yeah.
Bro, that's ridiculous.
I
And
mean,
it-
she broke the record on like a 75
yeah,
shot. She was
from the
stupid.
logo. She had the first 8 points of the game, right?
Yeah, she came out hooping.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, she's something special. And then while we on women's basketball, Saniya Burks dropped 75 on senior night, triple-double.
Jeez.
Something
Lit.
stupid. She committed to Texas State, I think it is. Is that a HBCU? I think it is.
Texas State, yes.
Yeah. So shout out Saniya Burks for dropping that 75. Hope to see more at Texas State.
On the next pod, we'll revisit if Caitlin Clark is the GOAT or not for women's basketball.
I mean, we kind of touched on the a
Was
few
AJ?
episodes
AJ
ago.
wasn't here for
I
that.
think he was.
Was he there for that?
Um,
I don't
maybe
think
not
he
on a
was.
pod, but I definitely remember talking about it though.
Yeah.
Oh. Because that conversation came back up after she broke the
Because
record.
you started, I think we recorded at your spot. You started talking about Sue Bird
I said Tarasi.
or
Yeah, I was
Tarazi.
there. Yeah, I
Diana
was there for that
Taurasi.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So shout out Caitlin Clark,
Somebody said she looked like, did you see that tweet that said she looked
Mel
like?
Gibson.
Yes, bro. I started.
They said she looks like Mel Gibson. They say she looks like
Bill Murray. Was it Bill Murray?
Not,
I started dying when they said Mel Gibson.
what's his name from Bruce Almighty.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. They said she looked like Jim Carrey too. But nah, shout out Caitlin. She a beast. Can't wait to see her in the WNBA. And stop saying she need to play in the NBA. Women's basketball is on the rise. They
She will
need some
get
superstars. They need more superstars, I should say. So and it's a complete. I do think.
They got enough superstars. They just need,
Yeah.
just more.
No, they could use more though. They could definitely use more.
Yeah, but-
especially high volume scores like.
but
that.
they have a lot though over these last. Think about like these last couple years, all the girls. that been going
Yeah. I'm not saying Caitlin's gonna be the first, but yeah, last couple of years it's definitely been some superstars. College basketball
Yeah,
starting to
Sabrina
get some.
Ionesco. What's Asia Wilson? She putting up.
Yeah.
And Asia been hooping.
Yeah. And now USC they got Juju, so she'll be
And
in the
then
WNBA soon.
you got Shorty from LSU coming in with Candace.
Yeah. Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, and the white girl too that they drafted.
Yeah.
Not that they traded for.
Traded for
From
transfer portal, you mean?
Oh,
transfer
Van.
Van something, the
Van
cute
Lee.
one.
Yeah.
She's
Haley
cute.
Van Lee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's cute as shit.
Last thing I want to say, I do think within these next couple of years, we do need to revisit women using a different size ball, because I think maybe in the past it was a strength type thing. Obviously, we've moved the women's college 3-point line back. They shooting at the men's line without any struggle, and I think just for having basketball be the same across the board, I think they need to switch to the men's ball. I think women are starting to get talented enough to where they can, strong enough and talented enough to where they can use the men's ball. But that might just be me, so I don't know. But that's all I got for this pod. It's been a long pod. I appreciate y'all staying tuned up until this point. Y'all got anything else?
Only audio now too at this point.
Nope.
All right, it's been another episode of Save It for the Pod, episode number 135. Phil hit the drop. Peace.